Hello there, welcome in, welcome in. Tonight I'm going to be doing Reiki to help with menstrual pain. A lot of people have kind of requested us kind of lifting or creating something soothing as we process different emotions, different pains on all levels, in the physical body, within the energetic body. So take a moment, kind of allow anything that's hurting you, any pain, any old stories, any old narratives. And so with this, we're going to be working with the root chakra and the sacral chakra. So I've brought together a few stones that's going to help with this transition, with anything you're going through. So let me know, how have you all been? How has this week been for you? Hello, hello. I'm doing well. A lot of heavy energy. I found this fitting too because we're kind of in that full moon energy. Also, it was a blood moon just last night. An eclipse. A lot of energy flowing through us. Hey Haley, how's it going? Yep. I know. It's been a rough week. And it's like, it's just Monday, but just so much happens. Everyone that I've spoken to today has just been, they're processing a lot of energy. But also might be feeling low energy. It feels like a week has passed already. It feels like a Wednesday or a Thursday. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like the Schumann resonance and the Schumann scale, but at like around midday I just felt all of my energy just completely drop. And I think all of us as a collective might be feeling that, just energy just tanking. Thank you. And so the thing is, like, not every day we're gonna have the same capacity, the same energy. We'll go through different cycles on an energetic level, on a physical level. Each day brings a new challenge that we deal with. And so it's just noticing what comes up, noticing how we feel, and then kind of moving gracefully with that energy. Yeah, a lot of us are still trying to wake up to reality, and it's been a lot. The last 2 years have been so much, and I know the last 4 or 5 years have just been absolutely insane. Yeah, when you're in a crowded room, especially as an empath, you start absorbing all of that heavy energy, all of that dense energy, a lot of emotion. And with the full moon, with the eclipse, with everything going on, it's a lot. Nope, we didn't miss a lot. We just kind of got started a few minutes ago. That's the thing. What is planned? In our human mind, we try to process how things should go. But the universe follows a different order. And sometimes surrendering to the universe, allowing things to flow naturally, to go where it needs to go. Listening to the season that we're in. So tonight's going to be a bit of emotional healing, grounding healing, physical healing. It's about connecting with the body, noticing the cycles that it goes through, noticing what's happening. Also, because the space we're working in right now is tied deeply with the root chakra and the sacral chakra, kind of holding, if you want to hold hands in the lower abdomen area, below the belly button, along the pelvis, this should help with any energy you might be feeling, connecting to it, relieving any pain. I think this one is. I don't have this full screen open, but yes. Madara's speech. Ah, okay. I know what you're talking about. I haven't watched Naruto in a long time. I need to rewatch it. There's just so much filler in it, though. That's what always kind of hangs me up on it. Thank you. Yeah, things have been heavy. I've been trying to get out into nature as much as possible. Being in the physical world if I can. Being among the trees. The plants. The crystal I'm currently using is selenite. In a few minutes I'm going to change it up. I think last Friday someone had requested me to do kind of some Reiki healing for menstruation, through the menstruation cycle. So that's kind of what tonight is focused around. So we're focusing on root chakra, we're focusing on sacral chakra, we're focusing on emotional wounding, but also honoring the energy that flows through us. Perfect. Yeah, I did a bit of research to find a few crystals that would help. That's going through it. Yes. I felt it fitting because someone asked for it. Yeah, someone asked for it on Friday. And then I saw last night was the full moon, blood moon. So that's exactly what we're working on. Full moon, blood moon release. And if you get it, you get it. So that's why if you're kind of going through it, even if you're not going through it right now, holding your hand just below the belly button, that's kind of the sacral space, the womb space, connecting to creativity, connecting to pleasure, sensuality. Even if you don't, this type of energy is being sent for grounding, for creativity, for passion. So you're still going to receive the benefits of it. And because Reiki it's intuitive, it knows what it needs to heal. If you're working on something else and you're healing something else, this is still going to go there. There's going to be a lot of emotional healing that we're going to be using. There's a lot of crystals lined up tonight. So that's what we're working on. And then later I'll post it on YouTube as well. That way this will always be there. Blood moon, yep. Can I do some for ADHD? I will look it up, and later on I could try and do some for ADHD. But yeah, if there's a specific one you want me to do, on my introduction video, just comment if there's a specific Reiki session you'd like me to try and do. And I'll try and incorporate it into these. Yep, for some of them I just need time to research and see what crystals would work. But in general, this energy does help. That'll be a good one, BPD Awareness Month. It's going to be setting energy for 1 second. Let me just take a quick note. ADHD. Stressful cycle of reality. Let's work on some emotions right now. We're going to focus a bit on heart space. Emotions that might come up, things we might be feeling. I'll be using a bit of rose quartz for this. Yeah, on Friday I did a Reiki session for insomnia, and it knocked a lot of people out. Congratulations, one little witch. That's amazing. Shout out to my moderators. Chronically Ghosted, Cherie Mystic, Shy Flying High. Yeah, a lot of people message me, they're like, I fell asleep like 20 minutes in. This will still help with that, because the overall intention is to help with pain and emotional pain. So physical pain, emotional pain, whatever you're feeling, this is supposed to help with it. So rose quartz normally helps with the heart space. I'm using it to try and help with emotions, understanding emotions, whatever might be coming up. Only if you want to. I picked this one. Let me just check through the list and see. Yeah, because this is, I would still stick to the root chakra and sacral chakra, just because like this is supposed to help with energy levels. And yes, if you're experiencing physical pain, I see someone broke their hand. I'm sorry about that. First, see a doctor first of all. And then afterwards, if you've seen a doctor and you're just kind of on the mend, kind of holding space on the hand, feeling like light is kind of flowing through it, imagining it kind of healing. Kind of like just peaceful love surrounding the hand. If someone from the past keeps showing back up and you don't want them in your life, you set the boundary. Tell them why you don't want them. Tell them how they hurt you, and that you no longer trust them. If you can, and then just block them. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about the wrist. You could watch the crystal if you want. You could even just close your eyes. For a lot of us, because of the energy I'm working with, just holding hands just below the belly button. Because we're working on sacral chakra, root chakra. But if you have physical pain elsewhere in the body, if you could rest a hand on those locations and imagine light flowing through it, light healing through it, that way you're redirecting the energy. And yes, someone asked about the Reiki session I did on Friday. Yes, on my YouTube, linked in my bio, I have the insomnia Reiki session up. A lot of people said it worked really well. Set your alarms for the next morning, because it might work too well. Let's see who's here. Someone said not to kind of follow spiritualists and mediums and all of this, but we are all spirit. We are all energy. Why listen to the tales of old books that kind of hold us back? We're in a space of creating our own power and stepping into our own power. And that's all I want here. I want each of you to step into your own power, to learn your energy, learn what you're capable of, learn how you can heal yourself. Because this energy, even though I'm sending it, even though it's channeling through me, it's your energy. You're connecting to it. You're allowing it to heal you. I love that art piece in the back. I don't really drink, but when I saw that, there's just something beautiful about it. The idea of just drinking sunlight. It's about energy. My favorite crystal. I use a lot selenite and obsidian. Those are two of my favorites. I had a few. In 2014 was one, and then in the middle of 2020, just everything kind of fell apart. It was a series of many traumatic events that kind of awoken me to a new place. And so when I kind of felt lost, like everything I was building fell apart, I kind of stepped back from reality, kind of went on a journey, was like, if this is how things are, I kind of want to redesign reality. And so eventually one of my friends, they knew I was very empathic, that I had a lot of sensing abilities, but I didn't know anything about like the spiritual community or anything like that. And so they pointed me in the direction of a place called the Portal. And so it's kind of like a gym membership for spirituality. If you're new on the journey, that's kind of where I went. And they had classes weekly on like spirituality, Hinduism, witchcraft, breathwork, shamanism, sound healing. It's a lot of things that kind of connected me to that energy. And I feel like as a society, those of us in the US, we've stepped away from ceremony. We've stepped away from community. And it's hard because the way that ceremony and communities have been built up, it's either we have religious trauma or it just doesn't feel authentic. And so it's a seeking of that authenticity. That's what I looked for. In my bio, there's a link called the Portal. So in my link tree, and they have all their classes are stored in the app. A bunch of stuff that I learned, and a lot of the stuff that I learned or talk about here, that's where I learned it. But Reiki I learned separately. I found a few different courses, and then through meditation, that's where I was able to connect with my own source of energy, my own source of power that led me to this. This one is rose quartz, but in a moment I'm going to switch it up. Rose quartz can help with energy. I'm using this right now to try and restore any energy, any heavy energy. I'm doing something called Reiki healing. And so it's kind of like energy restoration, basically transferring light energy to where you are. I remember you. For protection, I have many layers of protection. It's insane. I open sacred space before beginning, doing a shamanic prayer, calling on my guides to come and protect me. And then I'm training in shamanism. So there are 5 bands of power that exist around me that's constantly transmuting energy. So even if I do pick up darker energy, it's something that'll be transmuted quickly. I'm going to switch. I'm going to do a bit more pulling. I'm going to lift any heavy energy you might be feeling. That's a good question. What do I mean by energy? There's a lot of... I'm trying to think how to describe it. Basically, everything is energy. The happy emotions we feel is energy flowing through us. The unhappy emotions we feel are also emotions that we feel around us. So electrical, biochemical energy I'm kind of speaking of, but then also the way I imagine it and feel it, there's sort of like an ocean of light that surrounds us, and that's the energy I'm tapping into. And sending that healing to anyone that needs it, wherever they are. And so I do say energy a lot, and there's a lot of different definitions of that. So trying to unpack it. Also in our physical body, there's the physical body and the energetic body. And so that's kind of what I'm healing right now, the energetic body. And so that's the system within us, kind of like that soul energy, if you believe in a soul. That's the energy, and there's different chakra points on that energetic body. And so that does tie with the physical body. So the chakra points, if you look at the nerve endings where they connect, they do connect exactly where the 7 main chakra points are. So root chakra, sacral chakra, we're kind of talking of like genitalia, we're talking about womb space. So there's a lot of energy that's there, a lot of neurons that are there that fire. Solar plexus, that's where our stomach is. That's where our gut is, where we transmute food into energy. Yep, the meridian points in the heart space. The heart has neurons. That's the heart chakra. Tons of nerve endings there. Throat chakra, where we speak. There's a lot of stuff happening, so we could actually project our voice out here. And so then there's also the third eye space. Oh, give me 1 second. Just clearing through some energy in different ways. Third eye, right between your eyes, between the brows, that's inside of the brain. The pituitary gland. And then at the top of the head, that's the crown chakra. And so those are the main 7 points on the energetic body that we feel. And so there are more specifics to that, where when those are kind of hurt, that slowly begins to affect the physical body in different ways. I'm going to be switching stones. Give me 1 second to just check my list and see which one works best. I'm going to be using Black Moonstone. Cherie Mystic had sent this one to me earlier today. And it's about connecting with that feminine energy, emotional energy, kind of releasing what doesn't serve you. So this brings you back to balance. You're still gonna feel your emotions, you're still gonna react when things kind of come up, but it brings you a bit more clarity to it and a bit more connection to your inner self, to your spirit. I don't think we could stop ourselves from feeling what other people feel. Cherie, the stone you sent me is beautiful. I love it. We learn tools to kind of let go of that heavy energy. So breath work, something called emotional freedom technique, meditation. Those are 3 tools that help clear space, clear energy. Literally, if you feel like heaviness, if you shake your hands from the wrist, if you can. I know someone's having wrist issues, don't do that. But shaking the hands like that helps kind of shake the energy up, let go of the heavy energy. So a lot of the stones I'm using I got from Cherie Mystic on Tuesdays at 7:30. She does crystal live sales. So this one I'm using, kind of increasing passion, new beginnings, emotions, because we're working on root chakra, sacral chakra, and physical pain in the body. This kind of helps with that as well, because we feel the pain through the neurons and the nerve endings that I spoke about, and then the emotions start coming and our kind of internal visualizations of what they are, which then amplifies what we feel. With new crystals, I do different things, but the crystals that Cherie sells, I normally connect with her, and I do Reiki cleansing on all of them. But whenever I get crystals, I do the same thing, Reiki cleansing, or if I have incense, I kind of burn those and kind of like circle around the crystals. You would research it. If it's a crystal you can wash, I would run it through water, but things like selenite are not supposed to be run through water, so don't run those through water. It's about research before doing it. something we do in shamanism. If you've picked the stone, it was either called to you or you felt called to it. Speak your intentions to it. What do you want it to help you with? What energy do you want it to help you grow? How do you want it to help change you? The selenite stick that I use helps. It's a high vibrational stick, so I use it a lot to charge the other crystals and to amplify their power, but it's also a cleansing energy. Yeah, I have a crystal addiction now too, and I'm running out of space. Reiki was invented about 100 years ago by Dr. Mikao Usui. He studied at a Buddhist monastery, and he wanted to find a healing technique for different reasons. But this one helps with, I see you, Cherie. This one helps with like a lot of mental issues that we go through, psychological issues, emotional issues. And so shamanism does tap into this energy, but it's a much more complex system, because shamanism has existed for 100,000 years, maybe longer. And so shamans use techniques in Reiki, but through ceremony. And through ceremonies, there's fire ceremonies or moon ceremonies, or if they're working with a client one-on-one, we travel to a place called Middle World if we're working through distance, and from there we could bring healing to that person. Whereas in Reiki, like what I use, it's a distance symbol that connects with everybody. Or like I described, when I use Reiki, I imagine the entire world in a blanket or ocean of golden light, and I'm communicating with that light to send energy healing where it needs to go. But in the shaman lineage that I'm studying in, we use a lot of music, drumming, shamanic drumming, to try and help clear through any heavy energy, removing heavy entities. Because within both, there's no good or there's no bad. There's just light. There's just energy or heavy energy. And so we see the heavy energy is dark, negative energy. But like it's just heavy energy and overabundance of energy, stress that begins creating this energy. And so going back to the energetic body I was describing, when those chakra systems get either overworked or underused or blocked, that begins causing health issues in the physical world. So once you reach that point, you do have to see a doctor. You do have to see the people that can help you kind of cope with these things. And then also using the other tools I mentioned, like meditation, using Reiki on yourself, EFT tapping, breath work, to help restore and remove those blockages, but also eating healthier to kind of absorb more nutrients. In my one-on-one sessions, I do use oracle decks because it helps me read the energy of the person. Because different Reiki practitioners, they see things differently. Some could look at you immediately and see where blockages are. I don't. I have to go into meditation. But I use oracle cards to find out, like, what is the client working on right now? What is the heavy energy they're trying to move? What steps can I do to try and help that? And then from there, I read the cards and see what narratives are being told in their mind. And then figuring out what chakras then need to be worked on the most. For me, so the Reiki energy is described in different cultures as different things. This is still tying into the tarot cards, but it's kind of described as chi or prana, ki, depending on different backgrounds. If you are religious and you pray, that is a lot of that's exactly the same energy that you feel like when you're in that moment of prayer, feeling just pure bliss and happiness. Because Reiki stands for universal life force. It is love. And I think when we use tarot cards, oracle decks, runes, we're tapping into a similar source that helps channel that energy where we divine messages from. Let me know if that makes sense. I'm going to clear space and then I'll work through the different stones that I have. So let me know if that makes sense. Sorry, I ran off tangent. We're still working on helping physical pain. And like I said at the beginning, this is helping with menstrual pain if you're feeling it, menstrual cycle, as we are just in the blood moon, full moon, eclipse energy, all over the place. That's why I'm working on sacral chakra and root chakra. So if you're just joining, if you're kind of here and you're feeling pain in those spaces or any other spaces you might be feeling pain, holding a hand just below the belly button, that's going to help. This can help alleviate a bit of pain as well. Anywhere in the body you're feeling pain, imagining light kind of flowing through it. And it's going to help with emotions. It's going to help lift any heavy emotions you might be feeling, anxiety, depression, sadness. So right now I'm using selenite, just cleaning through that energy. For me, stress, it starts in the third eye chakra, just between the eyebrows. Because that's where you process physical reality, internal reality. But it could then start affecting the other chakras, depending what the thoughts are. Because that's the thing, your thoughts create reality. Your intention creates reality. This, what I'm doing, can help with grief as well, if you're processing grief. And I know the Reiki that I've done in the past has helped a lot of people with headaches as well. Still seeing your medical practitioners for anything you might be experiencing, doctors, therapists. I just remembered I had another crystal I wanted to use. It was a tiny one. Yes, this is all too well. Selenite I just keep on my desk in my workspace just because I do a lot of healing work here. So I like to use it to cleanse and charge the other crystals. Selenite I think a lot of people normally keep, depending what you're using it for. You could use it for manifestation. So if you have like a manifestation jar where you write stuff and put it in, I try and keep a piece of selenite and a small piece of obsidian over door frames for protection. Yes, you might be feeling different things during this Reiki session. And if you come to all of my sessions, it might not be the same experience every time. I'm gonna use malachite. I have a small piece. Thank you. So this helps absorb physical pain. And here, the notes I have, it's supposed to help with period cramps as well. It's a small one though, but we're gonna work with it. It also helps with grief. So anyone kind of going through grief, this is what we're using. Hello, welcome in everyone. It does look like marble. It's very cute. I normally use this one as just like a palm stone, just for my own grief that I go through. But these that I use, I always cleanse them before, like 24 hours before bringing them into session. Someone asked about if a crystal breaks. I haven't had a crystal break yet. Thank you. A close friend is distant. It can help a little bit, but if someone's kind of distant from you, I would step back. They might be going through things, maybe reminding them that you're there for them if they need anything. But I know we do go through different cycles of friends, friendships, and sometimes people in vibrational alignment with who we are fall in and out of alignment. Sometimes people are here for a specific reason, a specific journey. And other times they might feel a shift, or you might feel a shift. And I think it's about honoring the story that's told, but allowing space for them to step back into your life if they haven't hurt you, if they haven't done anything wrong, if they're just kind of stepping away. Because I've noticed in time, when you push too much, when you call too much on others, if you feel like they're backing away, so you feel like you have to tip the scale by giving more attention, by checking in even more often than before, it shifts the magnetic polarity between you and them and pushes them away a bit more as well. So take a step back yourself, kind of look at the story. I know the last few years have been tough on people, so a lot of people that I once did consider good friends, they kind of fell off the wagon in different ways, and they're still processing grief and depression. They're becoming different people, and they don't really understand it. And even me, myself, there's people that I've backed away from because I'm not ready to show them who the new me is yet, and I don't know if the new me is in alignment with who they are and where they are on their journey. And I think that's a tough conversation to have sometimes. But make sure your needs are being met. Make sure that you're putting yourself on the pedestal. Because you're still, in your story, you're still the main character. You're still doing the things, and you deserve people in your life. This is for everybody that's listening. You deserve people in your life that light you up, that are wanting to be there for you, putting the effort to be there with you. Because if you're putting a bunch of energy into an empty space and you're not receiving it back, it's just, nothing feels more lonely than that, from my experience. I know a lot of people come in and they say, like, I feel lonely right now, I feel lonely. But nothing's lonelier than being with someone or people that don't see you, that don't put in the effort. That's something you can't shake. In moments like that, you have to put yourself on that pedestal. And what I mean by that is that we put them in such a place and we honor so much of their light. And yes, their soul, their spirit is probably a beautiful thing. But if their physical form isn't treating you the way you deserve to be treated, step back, allow space for others to kind of fill those needs. And until they meet you there, you work on you. Take them off the pedestal, work on the inner child, work on the ego. Inner child being the curious one, the one that wanted to learn new things, the one that wanted to explore the world, that questioned everything. They wanted to be little scientists. They wanted adventures. I know we plan adventures with people and we think it's going to be forever, and it isn't always so. Still kind of tapping into that energy, because that's what happened to me. A lot of friends fell away, a relationship ended, a very close friend, like a brother to me, had passed away. And so diving into psychology now, there are 5 people in our lives. There are 5 people, important people, friends, family, that make up who we are, but they're also in vibrational alignment with who we are. And we keep each other in check. They expect you to be someone, and so you have to be that person. And if you become someone else, it's a bit confusing. But for me, like, half of that inner circle got shattered. So it was like there was room. There's room for something new, something different. And I think that was beautiful, what came out of it. Because I don't think those people that left or moved on or passed away would accept what I chose to become. And so we think, we're born into this world. I'm kind of going on into tangents. I'm going to do some pulling while I run into my tangents. We're born into this reality. We're born into this world where the moment we're born, we're told how to live. We're told what we're supposed to do. We're told those Disney stories. You fall in love with that special person. You're the prince. You're the princess. And so we run with that. And we think that we stay the same forever. We think that we're going to be that same person forever, but we're not. Those of you that have been here, no matter when you stepped into the room here with me, You're not the same person you were when we began, and I'm not the same person I was when we began. We're allowed to change. We're allowed to grow. And that's what happens with when we lose friends. That's what happens when we lose relationships, where we fight to stay in alignment with each other. But that doesn't always happen. And alignment is, if you look at magnets, two magnets of the same polarity attract each other instantly. They just kind of snap together. Do I have any magnets? I do have magnets. So these have the same frequency, same vibration, same polarity, so they're always going to attract each other. And then when you misalign them, I can't misalign them. I built it in a way so it can't misalign. But when they're in misalignment, they repel each other, they push each other away. And so when those polarities start shifting, when they start changing, we either let them go or we talk to them and see what is changing. Do they feel safe enough to talk about what's changing? And can we shift? Do we choose to shift with them? Can we stay in the same season with people, or is it time to move forward? I'm sorry for your loss. Take a moment to process those emotions, those heavy emotions and feelings. Honor the memories you had with that person. Write them out. Grief, there's no straightforward path in grief. And that is a heavy emotional pain that stays with us in different ways. But I think of the time spent with that person. I think of the energy that represented who that person was. Thank you for the crown. Kind of hold on to the light of who they were. I'm going to use a bit of black tourmaline. This is root chakra. Let's see if this helps with anything specific. Yep, everything I picked was for emotional pain, grounding, menstrual pain. So grounding you back into reality. Journal. When I'm going through grief, when I'm going through pain, journaling, writing it all down, telling the story to others, crying, screaming, shouting. Grief breaks us apart sometimes, emotionally. You'd have to search a little bit, but on my YouTube channel, I think I made like a 3-part series on grief, where some tools that I briefly used to understand grief. Yeah, screaming and shouting when no one's home helps a lot. Screaming and shouting into a pillow. You can scream inside of your mind endlessly. You don't have to breathe inside of your mind. That is cathartic and therapeutic in its own way. When I do this does shift the vibration. It does change the energy around us. I know some people take the grief and the pain, they turn it into art in different ways to kind of cope with what's happening, the emotional energy that's going on. This hat, this stash. Howdy, everyone. So the energy does change. It might feel like tingling, it might feel like warm, it might feel like cold. You might not feel anything at all. Someone said they're new, kind of just joining us. I'm pulling Reiki energy and sending it to everyone here. I'm channeling it through crystals for different reasons. Tonight is specifically for menstruation, physical pain, menstrual pain. Also, it was the full moon last night and still currently. So we're processing this energy, feeling this energy. shame revolves around, whenever I have to deal with shame, it revolves around shadow work. It's literally going back in time and figuring out, when was the first time I felt this pain? When was the first time I felt this shadow? And who made me feel this way? Because the shame is something that was learned. Someone made you feel shamed, even if it's not the same event. It's become a patterned response when you're wrong. So analyze the whole event. Look at what's causing the shame and see, is it just a pattern? Maybe something was slightly similar to something you've experienced before. Then kind of diving through the story, the timeline, and seeing how that shifted. A lot of times it's about inner child healing. Once you recognize thank you, Cherie. Once you recognize the pain, once you recognize the pattern, the events, imagining the younger you that felt that energy, sending love to them. Even right now, if you still kind of feel that shame, or it was in the past, the energy I'm sending to you, you can redirect to your past self and send them healing and light. You could imagine that past version of you that does feel shame. Imagine you embracing them, hugging them, telling them it's going to be okay. There's a technique that's used in reparenting. Reparenting is that there were a lot of things, our parents give us so much, but there are a lot of things that we don't receive that we still need. And so going back to those points where we felt hurt, pain, shame, anger, and offering us the light that we needed, the love that we needed, the grace that we needed. I know it's tough. I know sometimes we get triggered and there's no way we could do that. But if you're freshly triggered, going through something, you have to just sit there, feel the emotions. Don't worry about healing. Don't worry about getting better. Just letting the emotions pass through, run through. Suppressing it only makes it worse, because then future you has to deal with it, and it then manifests in different ways. Got Taylor Swift playing in the background. Today I'm working on menstrual pain, physical pain, emotional pain. Kind of regrounding us to the physical body. So root chakra, sacral chakra, and anywhere else that you feel like you need it. Yep, that fear of judgment from our childhood stops us from so many things in life, but recognizing it, holding space for that inner child. If you have CPTSD, it is a journey, because I also have it. It's about processing those emotions, understanding them. But I do recommend first finding a therapist, someone that can help be there with you as you go through that journey. Hey Abby, how's it going? Because in therapy there are different trauma breathing techniques and meditations they go through with you. Whenever the intrusive thoughts come up, I have to journal them. I have to write them down, not to remember them, but as a way of processing it. Tapping, EFT tapping, breath work. There's a lot of breathwork courses on YouTube, I believe. But I had to first go through therapy. Finding the therapist helped me process a lot of things that created that CPTSD. Tapping, it's called emotional freedom technique. And so there are different meridians on the body whenever you feel the triggers coming up. So this is like a response tool to try and like help bring you back to equilibrium, but like tapping between third eye, right around here, the side of your eye, under your eye, top lip, bottom lip. I do the collarbone a lot. Some of you might naturally do this when you're stressed out already. You go through that set a few times. You could use affirmations as you do that, and it helps make the body feel calm. It helps bring you back to equilibrium. I'm going to switch up crystals again. I'm going to do some pulling first. But it's a lot of understanding what CPTSD, understanding what those memories were. But that's why I say you do need the therapist, the psychiatrist that can walk you through it, because a lot of it feels so, it's a dangerous place. Your mind becomes a dangerous place for you. It doesn't feel safe, and that's what then makes the body not feel safe, and it becomes a whole thing. But it is possible to heal. It just takes time, finding the right mentor to walk you through that. If you can't, journaling. Whenever the intrusive thoughts come up, I keep a journal in my phone and I write down whatever is coming up. And if I have to, I delete it after. That way I don't have to relive it. But the issue is that certain things will trigger you back into that state of PTSD, and you're transported from the present moment and you're taken back into the moment where you're getting hurt. And so when that happens, you're kind of in a loop, and there's nothing much you could do in that moment. These techniques that I talked about, the EFT tapping, breath work, meditation, journaling, it helps as a coping mechanism. The journaling helps you process those emotions a bit more, but it takes time to come to terms with it. CPTSD stands for, yep, Cheyenne got it, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So PTSD is one big traumatic event that's hurt you and constantly plagues you. CPTSD is similar, but it's not one big event. It's a series of different events that have happened over time, over everything. And so it reaches a point where it's rewired the brain, it's created neural networks where certain things could happen, certain energies could re-trigger you, and you feel like that's happening again. That moment is happening again. And that's why I have to be aware of what's happening to the body, what's happening to the mind when those stories start playing out. But let me know if that helps. Rejection. Someone asked about someone that doesn't love you anymore. Give me 1 second. I'm going to be using Garnet because we're working on menstrual cycle. This is supposed to help reproductive organs, womb space, emotions, connecting you back to yourself. So still, for me, I use this in the sacral chakra, but it could affect both sacral and root chakra. If someone doesn't love you anymore, it's you go through a grief. So let's say it's a breakup or a friend that's not there with you. You go through grief because you then lost that person, and then you've lost you. You've lost the person you could be around that person. So it's a lot of time honoring those emotions, crying, grieving, because who you're grieving might not be the person, but you. The person that you could show them. The person meant for that person, if that makes sense. So kind of giving yourself the space to grieve, to cry, cord cutting, sometimes letting them go gracefully, learning to love ourselves again. And that's, I'm saying the words and like it can hurt, but it feels like just generic advice, but it's a process of learning how to love yourself again, connect with yourself. Because a lot of relationships, it's you offer yourself, they offer a part of themselves, and it becomes the scales tipping, two people connecting, their spirit attached to your spirit. It feels like divinity, and so when they're not there anymore, we lose that divinity. So it's trying to find that spark again, find that light again, and it doesn't have to be from another person. Right now, imagine it like if it's a cut. When you get cut, you bleed out at first. You allow yourself to feel the pain. You allow yourself to let go, and you allow yourself to heal. And it takes time. Things that I do Because this is grief. You're still going through grief, even if the person still exists. The version of that person that you love no longer existed, and the version of you that you could be with that person doesn't have a home or a place to feel safe with anyone else right now. So creating that space, trying to feel safe within your body, rediscovering who you are. What parts of that old version of you do you want to keep? Who do you become next? And so when I say who do you become next, it's sort of like when I went through some like really bad breakups, my friends were like, pick up new hobbies, play music, dance, do something fun, do something you wanted to do. I've been in some really trashy relationships, so it's always been like, what were the things that were taken away from me that I couldn't do that I could now do? If that makes sense. Like, what was it? My last ex, she was not into spirituality. She didn't like that. 2 years later, I'm like, I'm going to become a shaman and I don't give a damn. There's a freedom. Space is being created. It's just that if the breakup just happened, there is that period of just completely bleeding out, letting go, breaking apart. And so for me, because like what you're still clinging on to is you'd be clinging on to the version of them that did like you. But from what you've told me, they haven't been treating you the way that you need to be treated, the way that you deserve to be treated more recently. But you're holding on to maybe the good parts of the relationship or the beginning of the relationship where everything was shiny, new, the honeymoon phase. And the thing is, because they weren't showing you that love anymore, that version of them doesn't exist anymore. And that's where the grief is also coming from. And so it's kind of reminding yourself that, like, that's not who they were by the end of that relationship. They had become someone else. They chose to become someone else. How do I put myself back in the driver's seat again? Thriving out of spite. Me and my Scorpio sisters and brethren. Maybe my Leo friends too. We exist for spite. I know we're supposed to be love and light and all that, but sometimes it's like, they didn't let me do this, I'm gonna do this now. Just for me. Because they hated when I did this. They hated when I listened to Taylor Swift, when I play the music that I liked. When I ate certain foods, when I wear certain clothes, they didn't like it. I'm just throwing out examples, but my sun sign is Scorpio and my moon sign is Leo, so those two are incredibly spiteful at times. They're like, that's probably going to be the thing that keeps me alive the longest. Turn it into art. You brought up a great point. I'm playing Taylor Swift. I'm not even in the zone right now. Thank you for reminding me. Taylor Swift, she might not do it out of spite, but she's like, you break up with me, I'm gonna make money off of the pain that you made me feel. Let me go write a song. People are gonna love this song. Adele too. Take that pain, take that grief, turn it into something. Let it make you money. Write poetry. When I went through the breakup, poetry. I bought singing bowls and singing tongue drums and drums. Just because I could. Olivia Rodrigo knows. She knows what it's about. Maybe I should do that next week. She only has a 40-minute playlist, though. But I could loop it. That's okay. Yep. I still got like 3 more crystals. We're gonna be here for a while if anyone's still hanging out. This is a long one. So we're doing Reiki healing for menstrual pain, menstrual cycle, physical pain, emotional pain. So I decided to play Taylor Swift Red. I just wanted to connect that dot here, where we're at right now, just so that we all know. Ooh, Look What You Made Me Do. A lot of people don't like that album, but there was a lot of fire in that album. Yes, and if you're experiencing different types of pain or ailment, this energy's still gonna heal you. Dot. Yep. I was gonna wear the red robe too, but I was like, that might be doing too much. I did the like art piece that I normally do on the videos that I posted, and there's so much red in it. So much red. I was like, am I doing too much? Am I doing the most? It's okay. Never too much. I was like, I haven't used the red robe in a while. I'm gonna be switch crystals. I'm gonna be using amethyst. Let me check my note. I had to write down what all of these things do. So amethyst is gonna help. It's gonna relieve tension from the neck, shoulders. It's gonna help easing cramping. It helps purify the blood, and it helps accelerate tissue organ repair. And hold on, I wrote a lot of words. I got it. Helps with organ repair during menstruation, especially after intense flow, leading to excessive blood loss. So it's a full. We're doing a lot, but it's good. People need it. Exile is good. I talked about it before. If you hear the, it is somewhere. If you look up Exile by Lovelace, he does a cover of it, and there's so much emotion in it. Shai's like, we need a lot. I pull out all the crystals for this one. I'm like, what do I have? How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was like 9, 10 crystals if we count the obsidian bracelet Cherie sent me. Yes. Amethyst helps with third eye as well. Yes, this one's pretty. This one Cherie sent me. I think half these crystals Cherie sent me. Yeah, more than half. So there's a clothing company called Guide, Geyed. This is for you crystal lovers and fashion lovers. They build clothing where there are tiny like holes in the clothing where you could like tuck in crystals for each chakra. And so it even comes with a piece that like covers the neck and then has like a place where you could put a blue crystal for throat chakra. Crystals for panic attacks. I don't know specifically, but I would use something like obsidian, black tourmaline, just because that's grounding. And when you're having a panic attack, it's because everything just feels very ungrounded. So this is like leading into like lower chakras. But I'd say obsidian or black tourmaline. If you're having one at the moment, kind of just taking a moment, taking deep breaths in. As you're exhaling, exhale as if you're blowing through a straw. This helps bring the body back to... It helps soothe the nervous system. Also, if you know EFT tapping, tap on the bottom jaw or top lip or along the collarbone gently. Follow those 3 spaces. It should be able to help. I don't know. For me, I use crystals as like preventative more than removing. I guess you could use selenite to kind of remove heavy energy. I literally just place my hands on my heart space and say any energy that was sent to me that is not mine's, I release it. I would light a white candle and like literally just pull and say any heavy energy that no longer serves me, lift it off of you and just place it into the fire. Like, don't put your hand in the fire, but visualize like dark ribbons and tendrils being lifted out. I'm more like create your own magic. You don't have to look up everything on the internet. Like, whatever feels right could be right. But you can look up different rituals for removing if you feel like you have dark magic. But for me, I don't see it as like dark magic. I see it as just heavy energy that needs to be shifted. Yeah, it's got some magic in this one. They all do, just different types of magic. And if you want, I'm trying to think. I always forget all the things. I'm not ending. There's still a few more crystals, but please follow my moderators. They are all amazing, powerful. Follow Chronically Ghosted, Shy Flying High, Cherie Mystic. I think Adam's still here. X9JAT. Yeah, that's interesting. This one is Amethyst. Yep, they are all amazing. It is. It's a very calm energy I feel from it. Like, it just feels peaceful for some reason. Part of me is like, should I have used this one as the last one? But it's fine. It's all good. Yes, I'm using Reiki to remove any heavy energy. Also sending light through you. That way it'll push any heavy energy out. And then when I do pulling, I pull the heavy energy and I keep a white candle next to me. It's dwindling a little bit, but it's still working with me. And send that heavy energy into the flame. Most of my crystals I get from Cherie Mystic. On Tuesdays, she does a crystal live at 7:30 Eastern. All right, I'm gonna do a bit more pulling. So any heavy energy you're holding on to, any dense energy, any pain, feel free to let go of it. And then I'm trying to think. On Wednesday, I'm doing a cord cutting ceremony, like a small group cord cutting using Reiki. It is a heavier session, but anyone that's struggling to kind of let go of anyone that no longer serves them, that's something I'm offering through my Linktree. Thursday, I'll be offering inner child healing. This one's a bit more gentle. It could still bring up emotions because it is calling on the inner child, teaching you ways that you could connect with the inner child through meditation. I'm trying to think what else. And then, so those are the group settings. I still do one-on-ones So if anyone wants to work on something specific, one-on-ones work similar to the group setting where it is a meditation. I do a bit of card reading just to kind of figure out what energy is going on, what energy you're feeling. We do the meditation, and then from there I allow, like, you would do that same meditation for yourself for like 2 weeks after to try and see what comes up. But it restores the energetic body, the different chakra points. And then next week, I haven't posted it yet, but I'm thinking about doing one for energetic shielding. I'm just figuring out, because I haven't done that for other people before, so I'm figuring out how to modify that meditation. That way those of us that feel kind of ungrounded, we'd have a visualization of what the energy feels like. If you're manifesting something, I would say, or for like success, pyrite is something I would recommend. I'm gonna use, someone asked about tiger's eye earlier. I'm gonna bring that out, but let me just, hold on. It is, it's supposed to help with motivation. This one says it helps deal with menstruation, reducing fatigue, mood swings, helps regulate hormones. Then it's like, some people just buy rings with them. But I like using just the crystals, keeping it around. I'm trying to find where it shines. It's the shiny one. When we take other people's energy, same thing I said before, use your words as spells. Literally say, take a deep breath in and say, I release any energy I might have picked up that is not mine. And just slowly exhale. And as you do, feel that heavy energy being lifted off of you. For both of them, for both the sessions, the group sessions I'm doing, those are going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. And signing up is through my link tree. Most people wait to manifest after an eclipse or during the eclipse season, but I am a bit chaotic, so I'm gonna see what happens to me. It's hard not to be, because we want to help people, and some people feel that, so they take energy. What I would recommend is, something I do is, before I even leave the house, doing that same thing, taking a deep breath in, but as I exhale, I say, I'm creating a shield of light around me to protect me from any energy that I might pick up that is not my own, to protect my own energy. You could imagine like an orb of light around you, or if there's a specific element you like working with, you could recommend that. Fire, water, air. Air is invisible, so it's harder to visualize, but I imagine it kind of like silverish light, or silver ribbons. And then earth, if you just want to imagine a literal boulder surrounding you, imagine that. Maybe I'll do that, because I wanted to use the elements in my group sessions, but I might just pick one element each time I do it, just to help others visualize it a bit better. The eclipse, Mercury is in retrograde right now, so a lot of communication issues, a lot of past wounds are coming up. And so whatever you notice, whatever patterns might have come from the past, there's a good time to journal and do shadow work and say, where have I felt this before? What have I learned? Am I going to make the same decisions I made last time this energy came up? Or am I going to move forward? And so a lot of people say their exes kind of show up during the retrograde. And so it's making that decision. Do I want to go back to old patterns, to old people that have served me? Or do I want to move into something different, something new? So when you're you could do two different things. Before you leave the house, kind of take a deep breath in and say, I'm creating a shield of light to help protect me, protect my energy from anyone around me, anyone that might be trying to take energy from me. And then at the end of the day, if you could go into nature, do this in nature, but kind of taking a deep breath, same thing. I'm releasing any energy that I may have picked up from other people. I'm sending it to the earth to transmute back into light. It might be good if the exes don't come back. I know there was love there. I know there was joy there, but sometimes the universe protects us from certain things and then tests us in different ways. I like that, Chelsea. That's a good one. May the light be with us, and we be the light. It's tough when they move on, and we find out they move on. But at the same point, for me, this is what I tell myself. I'm like, do I want to keep living that story with those same limitations? Or can I welcome in a new story that embraces me for everything that I am? Because then if we feel hurt when we see our exes fall in love with someone else, it's sort of like we get taken back from a present moment now to the version of us that was madly in love with them. And so we feel that pain through time and space. But recognizing where you are in the moment, the present moment, how far you've moved forward, that's important. I'm sorry for your loss. And that's just things that I tell me. And sometimes we do end back up with our exes, and that's okay, but what have we learned? If you do end back up on that path, have they changed? I like that hat. Have they made the changes necessary to honor the seasons that I've entered? If that makes sense. And for grief, the person that lost their ex from physical reality, I think those that we lose, those that pass on, I feel like their energy protects us in different ways. Their love surrounds us. That love is real, and that story cannot be rewritten. Whatever you felt was real. All of it was real. It's funny. Donna said, I'm not going backwards, but who knew it was Mercury? Because when Mercury goes in retrograde, that's what the planets look like from an astrological standpoint. It looks like the planets are going backwards. That's why they call it a retrograde. I'll be doing a bit more pulling, and then clear quartz is what I'm headed to right after. That when they don't come to your side, when they're not there to help you, that's where it's difficult. That's when you can see it's not fair what they did to you, but your light and the way you treat them is beautiful, and you deserve that light back. Not to take it back, but you deserve that same attention that you gave others. In that case, I would personally, well, like I said, I'm petty sometimes. I'm a Scorpio. I would step back from that friendship. I would step back from someone that's not meeting me there. Or if your friendship is open enough to discuss, where it's like, I kind of need a bit of help, I'd like to know that you were there as I'm kind of going through this. And see if I like ask them, are they emotionally there to help support you as you go through things? And if you can't, that's when it's like they don't deserve the love that you gave them. Like, they don't deserve that same type of attention again. We can't keep pouring into empty cups. We can't keep emptying our cup into empty cups. After the retrograde, it goes into something called direct, and that's where it starts flowing through the regular pattern that it should be. You have to remember that I'm a Scorpio, and sometimes I'm just quick to cut people off. But it's good to communicate. Everyone should communicate what is going on, and see if those people are willing to meet you there at that place, at that point. All right, we're heading to clear quartz. This is supposed to amplify the energy that we felt all night. So all of those crystals that I've used, the different types of healing that I've done for pain, for anything you're going through, for root chakra, for sacral chakra, for menstrual pain, it's supposed to help amplify that. I'm trying to see if there was anything else that it does. Yeah, no, it's just supposed to amplify everything else that I've done, that I've been working on. June 2nd is when Mercury goes direct. But we're still gonna, after that, I think it's like 2 weeks after, you were kind of in the shadow phase of the retrograde, so there's still kind of like slight waves of what we felt during it. Yeah, I need to work on communication. I'm still human, don't worry. Still figuring this out with the rest of you. What I've done this time, this retrograde hasn't been so bad for me. Or maybe things have just been so bad that it's just normal now. But going into nature, being among the trees and the plants, the flowers. Thank you, Haley. There are things I need to work on, but it's a journey. It's all just a journey. But journaling, looking at past events that have happened. Even before the retrograde, I was healing through wounds that were coming up, so I'm still kind of working through those. Thank you, Cherie. Yep, this one is clear quartz. The moon cycles are wild. People are like, these are just planets and heavenly bodies. It doesn't affect us. But if the moon could make the ocean waves, if it could shift the entire ocean the way that it does, the body's made out of what, 60% water? I forget the exact math. But yeah, it's gonna affect us. It's an energy we can't see or feel. Ask anyone in the medical field, how is it around full moons? Do things shift a little bit differently on the full moons? Yep. 70% water. Thank you, thank you. I was like, what is it? There's a lot of like percentages in my mind, and I always sometimes forget. After this crystal, I'll do some pulling, and then I'll start wrapping it up. This was a longer session, so I might not be able to post it till tomorrow, because I have been having technical difficulties because of I'm gonna blame the retrograde. The insomnia video I posted, I spent like 3 hours after trying to download it and post it, and I'm like, nope, it's not working tonight. Right, the moon, the tides. There is the word lunatic, and loon being lunar. The moon stirs up a bit of energy. Videos are posted on my YouTube. So I've got a few up there already. Most of them focused on chakra. The last one I did on insomnia. And then this one, hopefully tomorrow I can get that up and running. Yeah, who here can actually see the stars? Because when I look outside, I think I see the moon, and it's just like a street light. I live in New York City, and we don't have the stars, and celestial bodies don't really exist in New York City. I think I tried to see the moon last night, and there were clouds, and there was one moment that I did think I saw it, but it was the light from a building. It was a full light from a building. If I move my hand over the light, it eclipsed, and that was my eclipse here in New York City. I post these videos on on my YouTube. If you search Alchemist Kennedy on YouTube, it's going to come up. I also have it linked in my bio. Inside my link tree has like everything. Every app to use, every community that I've suggested, meditation apps. Yeah, I need to get out of New York City. The live, yeah, I think Chronically Ghosted sent me someone that had the telescope out. I honestly, the last 2 years, this room is what I've existed in. Where I'm at is okay. There's a park maybe a mile away, so I walk over there. I need to check out Westworld. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Is that why people give me cowboy hats sometimes? It is fun. Alright, I'm gonna do a bit of pulling, so any heavy energy, feel free to let go of it. It's gonna be the last bit of pulling, and then I'm gonna wrap up. Someone has been asking for a little bit of sound healing, which I've saved for the very end, because I don't know where to mix it in. Yeehaw. I need a hat like that. I need like a cowboy hat. The space cowboy healer. I like that. Like I'd have like an astronaut helmet and like a cowboy hat on top of it. Mean. No, those are emus. No, they both get mean. I'm sorry. You all get like this loopy version of me now. Cowboy Reiki. This song, I never know what song this is. Taylor out here putting wedding songs in my Reiki videos. It's fine. Yes, it is normal to feel crying, to be crying, to feel old energy coming up as it's released, because it's being transmuted. Space cowboy. See you later, Space Cowboy. That's how I'm gonna end all of my videos from now on, if I remember. Maybe. I don't know if people notice it. At the beginning of a lot of my videos, I'm like, hello there, and I am directly referencing General Kenobi. Because that's what I do. It would be. Maybe I should just do it as like an end title, and it would just be at the bottom. Thank you. You didn't notice, Haley? Hello there. That's the only reason I do it. All my cover letters when I send in job applications, that's how I begin them as well. Hello there. It hasn't been working on the job applications, but everything else has been doing really well. I've listened to a little bit of Ram Dass. I'm just gonna send you a bit of light energy right now, because I'm gonna start signing off soon. Oh, that's amazing. Someone played this on their piano for a wedding one time. I love that. Yes, thank you all for hanging out, for being chill. Time moves so weirdly. Time just goes on. I'm not sure about the coughing fit. It could be energy being lifted. It could be movement in the throat chakra, but I'm not sure if it's from the Reiki. All right, real quick, I want to heal up. Last thing, this is the last thing I'm going to do, because I said I would do it. I waited to the end. I'm going to use the root chakra tuning fork and the sacral chakra tuning fork. So, just listen. Allow yourself to ground back into your reality, into your body. Allow the earth energy to flow through you naturally. Allow yourself to heal. Feel connected. To feel grounded. You are from the earth and of the earth. All the elements flowing through you. Turn off the music. Thank you. So that one's root chakra, and this is the last one before I sign off. This is sacral. This is creative energy, sexual energy, playful, pleasurable energy. Your creativity, your energy. Also a grounding energy. Right. I hope this helps. I hope you all feel better. I'm gonna be signing out. These I found on Etsy, but there are different people that sell it. It's just kind of like looking around to see what's kind of coming up. But thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for all the likes, the follows, the presents, the gifts. Thank you all for checking out my mods, following my mods, kind of supporting the whole team. I'll be live again this Friday coming up at 9:30 Eastern. It'll probably be a shorter live than this. This one, I needed to do a lot of work. But I hope this helps. And I'll post this on my YouTube tomorrow morning, hopefully. All right, everyone. Hope you have an amazing evening. And I will talk to you all soon. Take care. See you later, Space Cowboy.